jot down this little triangle. We just talked about this in your warm-ups. You did these three on your quiz. I want to make sure you know what these three are because they no longer teach you what they are in geometry. So, I want to make sure we're good. R, X, and Y, yes. And there's a reason later why those are the letters I'm using, but for right now, you just need to know. X, Y, and theta.
Bang.
Little Greek letter.
Theta
Yes.
is like THP.
Yes.
I think like sleeping.
That says CSC.
Wait,
It does.
psychology knows theta.
CSC stands for cosecant.
Yeah, that's what she says.
Theta waves of sleep.
Wait, why don't they teach you geometry anymore?
That's a great question.
It always like stays two.
Because you know they think after 2 years you'll still know everything.
Okay, so guys, those over here, the new ones, this is cosecant, secant, and cotangent. Okay? Those need to become a part of your world, all right?
Next week.
Then you're going to take a test for me when you're there, yes.
Yeah, but if it's like anything like
It should be a happy test.
Test. Do we have a test next Monday?
No,
Thursday.
Monday the 19th.
Monday.
If you know you are not going to be here the week of Thanksgiving that Monday, you need to take it before because you are not going to want to take it after Thanksgiving.
for that.
Trust me. So,
Are we learning anything on like Friday or?
for next week,
Yeah, I assume we have a little time to plan.
not too much. You have today and 3-4, which we kind of do in 2 days, and then a fake quiz review, and then test. That's it.
Oh.
Yes.
That's not a C.
Yeah, sorry, my E's and C's kind of look a lot alike in this one. S-E-C for
One
secant.
below, that's CSP. The one third one's CSP.
Yeah, the third one's CS.
That's an S?
Here. It's an S? Yes. Where?
Yeah, what?
Oh, wait, that's an S.
On the last one? No, that's cotangent.
CSP.
Secant is S-E-C. Try to write them even down.
So that isn't all.
Talk about
So that
financial.
element S, the last one.
That is an O. I'll rewrite all of them for you. Is that better?
CSP.
Yes. Perfect. No, that's fine. It's better than being like, I'm guessing at what letters you're talking about. Okay. So looking at this little triangle up here, we're going to set up what all of these ratios are. This is the angle I'm looking at. This is theta. So what is the sine of theta? With these letters.
Opposite. So it would be Y over R.
Y over R, yes. Okay. What about cosine of theta?
X over R.
X over R. Tangent of theta.
Y over R.
Good. All right. Those are not bad, right? You know those?
Yeah.
You know those because you learned them earlier today. You know those? All right. These, the cosecant, secant, and cotangent, they are lined up with the one they are connected to. Yes. So they are the reciprocal of these. What does reciprocal mean?
Flip it, maybe.
Flip it. So what do you think cosecant is going to be? Not negative. No sign changing. It's not like perpendicular slope opposite reciprocal, just reciprocal.
What did you just say? It's like perpendicular. Do you guys like do math talk with each other in the math department? No. You just say like big math terms like ha 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 ha. What's it sound like?
No.
Tell them
Well, math jokes are fun, yeah, but
It's a good joke.
my world exists beyond just the world of math.
Oh, just really?
It does.
Really?
Because you just
Promise
flip
it
flop it.
does.
It's just the reciprocal. So basically just think, oh, what's the cosecant go with cosine or sine?
Sine. Okay. You're never going to have two cos together.
Never two.
Okay? Cosecant and sine. Secant and cosine. Cotangent and tangent. Okay? You're never, like these, no,
That's crazy.
not together. Can't have two cos together.
Downright.
These ones are easy to remember, tangent and cotangent. If you don't know those are connected, I'm going to worry about it a little bit. Okay? Just a little. All right, so that part's not bad, right?
Yeah. Pretty good.
Okay, you're looking at me like maybe it is bad. Are we okay? Yes. All right. Now we got to do some problems. Ignore all that. We'll do that together. Okay, jot this one down. Are we doing what? A point on the terminal side of an angle is given. Find the trig values. Just write it down and I will explain. Okay? But I know if you're writing and I'm talking like I am right now, you're not listening to a word.
I wasn't listening to second.
Yeah.
It's what on terminals?
A point. All right, guys, we are going to be plotting this point.
Do we ever not graph?
Great question.
In the trig proofs unit, there's not really graphing.
Not really.
But they're not proofs like geometry. It's so different from geometry. You'll hate them at first and like them by the end.
That's what I said.
Somebody says
No. No. Totally different from geometry. There's no like give a reason why. You just get to like logically work it out. And you guys can all do it in different ways and I'll be okay.
Is that on your calendar? Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I like that.
That's okay.
Good job.
And actually, I would have known it. Maybe it would.
Oh. That's
All right. We're going to plot the point 3, 4. Do we know how to plot that point? I hope so, right? If you, again, I'm going to worry about you. 3, 1, maybe.
All of that dancing, I'm like, oh, you want to write that
All right, there's my point. Okay, we are going to make a little triangle out of this. Pay attention, this is crucial. Ready, Fletcher? Okay, so I plotted the point. Always then make a right angle to the x-axis. Always, always, always. To the x-axis. And then connect your point to the origin. Right angle. And then right there by the origin, that is the theta, the angle we will always be talking about. Okay? Think about it, make sure you got that. All right, so how long is this side of my triangle?
3.
3, because that's the x part, right? What do you think that is? 4. Could you find the hypotenuse? Yes. No.
No, you would use the
It's 5, yeah. Or you know, it's a Pythagorean triple common right triangle or something like that. We know 3, 4, 5? Yes, okay.
Wait, do we know what that is? Is that just a 45?
No, we don't know what the angle is.
Is that what we're kind of finding?
No, we're just going to set up all the ratios of that angle.
Oh.
Like, so what it means by find the trig values, that means find the sine of theta. Find the cosine of theta. find the tangent of theta, the cosecant of theta, the secant of theta, and the cotangent of theta. Okay, Vin, what's the sine of theta?
Are you looking? Oh, you asked me.
I did. And then you just looked away. So.
Why did you ask me? All of this digital, just like previous things, like values built for company.
Should be 4/5, right?
Yep.
What about cosine?
Over facing the hypotenuse, which is 3, 5.
3/5. Good. Tangent.
So the opposite 4, 3.
Okay, now what am I going to do with cosecant, secant, and cotangent?
Flip it.
Flip. So I will have 5/4. 5/3. 3/4. And we're done with that one. Easy, easy peasy. Okay. All right, let's try another one. No, you're okay. Yes,
What's an
question.
easy way to remember like which in place does the sign and just set the sign?
We'll just know that none of the co's go together.
There's two.
So cosecant cannot go with cosine, right?
Yeah.
So it must go with sine. Yeah.
So what if you don't know what the hypotenuse is?
Okay, Pythagorean theorem. Yep. This is one that you should become familiar with if you are not already. This is another nice, happy Pythagorean triple.
7.
Is it reversed?
Not 7.
9.
Oh, it's gotta be 25 instead of 5 and 11.
It's got to be bigger than either side, right?
Oh, wait, no, those together 13.
Okay. So now when we plot it, and I don't really like that those both turned out to be black or red instead of hold on.
It's a 17 squared.
Why are you saying 17 squared?
I don't know. I'm not sure if that's right or not. I have this one.
Oh, you don't add the 5 and 12. You add 5 squared and 12 squared, which is not the same as 17 squared. Okay. Let's plot our points first. So you don't have to do tick marks for this. That was just to get you to understand where the lengths of the triangles came from. -5, -12. What quadrant is that going to be in? 3. It's somewhere over here, right? Okay, where do I draw the right angle to?
On the X.
Yes. And then where else do I connect it to? X. So right angle, there's my theta. Are we okay with the -5 and the -12 being there? Do we get why they have to be negative? Okay, you are talking about this angle that's in the third quadrant, so the signs matter. It must be negative. Now your hypotenuse will never be negative. Okay? It is always just the distance from the origin to the endpoint. It's never, ever, ever negative. What is the length of your hypotenuse? 13. So that is a Pythagorean triple you might know, or you can do Pythagorean theorem. 44.
That's be I'm gonna trouble.
Then you have to simplify a square root. But we're not worrying about that just yet.
Sure, figure it out.
Guys, once you have it drawn, is it easy? Okay.
Would an negatives cancel out the tangent?
Yes, good point. So what is the sine of theta? -12/13. So Those negatives matter, okay? Signs matter. All right, what's the cosine? No, cosine. Negative 5 over
Oh.
13, good. What about tangent? Good, 12 over 5. Two negatives will cancel. Then we're flipping them. So cosecant is negative 13/12. Do you think it matters if the negative's part of the numerator or the denominator? No, it's just the whole fraction is negative, wherever you want to put it. So negative 13 over 5, 5 over 12. Questions so far, guys? Okay. All right. Try this guy. All right, guys, I want you to try this one. I'll walk around and see how you're doing. This one is not a Pythagorean triple.
That is unfortunate now, I don't know.
Good with. I have faith in you.
Is this the whole unit? What it's not? Or this?
Okay. A little bit more. A lot of it is triangles and understanding the signs.
So exactly.
Not a Pythagorean triple.
So the angle is not a right angle?
No, it's a right angle.
It's just not.
It's just not a like
Hypotenuse means still.
Oh, right.
like you're gonna have a radical in your hypotenuse.
Wait, so how do you solve that again?
X squared plus y squared equals r squared.
Oh,
I said x squared plus y squared equals r squared, based on the triangle we drew way back at the beginning.
yeah, I know, but if it's not gonna be something, like,
It's that square root, that's fine.
so it's gonna be. Oh, that's it. Oh. Let's do this.
I'm still looking at. Wait, it's all.
Yes.
You rationalize it? Oh, I'm sorry. Ew.
Yeah.
Also, I'm so
Hannah, you seem really angry about this.
It makes it a lot harder.
It does.
So square root of 5. Are you guys getting group 5 as your hypotenuse? Yes, good start. Get rid of the square root. Rats. You sound very pained right now.
So wait, so then when you flip it, you have to rationalize it again.
Would you like to see a shortcut rather than rationalizing again when you get to cosecant? Yes? Okay.
We'll make it harder.
Yes.
I don't know why.
This is not really a shortcut.
Actually, I just
All right, we're okay with this, right?
Once you rationalize the like this and the vectors called,
Yes.
you have to rationalize it together.
No, that's just what I was. All right, so sine of theta, guys, that starts out as 2 over root 5, right? When we rationalize, we get 2 root 5 over 5, correct? Okay, so to do cosecant, please do not flip 2 root 5 over 5, because then you're going to have to rationalize again and reduce. Go to your original. If you flip this, what is it? There you go. You're done with cosecant.
So it's just the unrationalized original.
Yeah, so this is, sine is opposite over hypotenuse, right? Cosecant is hypotenuse over opposite. So you can just think about that. Thanks.
3.3 and then the practice.
Wait, this is so frustrating. It's not good.
What's wrong?
Yeah, like, it's just like, it's almost borderline linear. Like, log feels hard, but like, each time I got a question right, I felt it.
You don't feel good right now? I'm sorry. We'll keep doing stuff. Maybe you'll feel good in a
I
minute.
swear to God, if there's logs in this, I mean,
There are no logs in our tree.
Wait, take the sine of a log. Take a log of a sine.
They were in your expanding and condensing. I don't know if you remember. Yeah,
Oh,
you were
yeah.
like, what? Okay. Are we okay with if I give you a point, you can find the other trig values?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. Let's do something else with it now. Let me do some erasing here. So hold on, don't write anything just yet.
No new stuff.
No new stuff? Okay. So same idea, but instead of giving you a point, I give you one of the trig values. So I tell you what sine is equal to.
Wow.
You can do it. Oh no. You can just like trig functions, trig values, sometimes we'll call it. So I'm giving you sine. I tell you something about theta, and you then have to find cosine, tangent, cosecant, secant, cotangent. I'm going to show you what to do. I'm just going to give you a minute to write it down.
What?
You're going to make me spit out my teeth. This really is a good class to record, isn't it, guys?
Is that pi or is that TT?
That's fine. Why don't you just use TC?
Yeah,
oh,
no.
that's
Is, yes.
Wow, that was so smart. Oh, I get it.
Guys, this is not that different from what we were just doing. So let me show you. All right, we have to figure out what quadrant we're drawing this in. Sine is positive. Okay, so hypotenuse is always positive. My opposite must also be positive. Then I tell you the angle is between pi over 2 and pi. Well, where are pi over 2 and pi on here?
Pi was in the first section.
Pi is right here, right? Pi and 180 degrees are the same.
Yeah.
So where do you think pi over 2 is then?
Not on the other side.
It's
Yeah, it's half. Because it's half of it. So this is pi. This is pi over 2. So that means my triangle is somewhere in this quadrant. Again, the right angle on the x-axis, theta in there.
my negative.
Yeah, why is it negative?
Yeah.
Sine is positive in this quadrant.
No, but like, if it's negative, shouldn't the sine be negative?
Why would, so let's
Because
label,
like the x would have to be negative. So.
does sine have anything to do with x?
No, but
Okay.
when you're plotting the triangle,
Okay.
they have to be negative.
Something has to be negative, yeah.
the
Okay.
cosine is negative.
All right, sine is opposite over hypotenuse, right? Yes, we know that.
Yeah.
So that means the opposite of my angle is 4 and the hypotenuse is 5. Makes sense that both of those are positive.
Yeah.
What is the other side of my triangle?
-3.
-3, and it's going to be related to cosine, yes.
Oh, you do the Pythagorean.
Pythagorean theorem, or you know this one, right? 3, 4, 5.
4, 5, 6.
Now that it's drawn.
Yay. Also, brief with an explanation. So, like,
That was a very brief question as well.
so if it's a positive 3, wouldn't that still be a 3, 4, 5?
Yeah, but it wouldn't be in that quadrant.
Why does it have to be in that quadrant?
Because it tells you. This is
How is that? So that's positive. What's it pi? 3, 4, 1, 4. Oh, on a graph.
pi like 180 degrees, right?
It's 180. Wait, let me get
Okay.
I don't want to. I don't want to. Like 180 divided by 2. Oh, that's
Like what would be over here? 2 pi.
Right.
This is
That's how
1.5 pi, essentially. Right?
What's half of?
That's not
Oh
always.
no, that's super. Yeah.
Ew.
That's why it's a straight line.
And then I'm telling you the angle's in between those two. Right? It's got the in between there.
Okay.
Okay. So cosine, are we okay with -3/5?
Yeah.
Tangent, -4/3. Cosecant, 5/4. Secant, -5/3. And cotangent, -3/4. Is it easy once you get the picture drawn? Yeah, it's just a matter of getting that triangle in the right spot labeled correctly. Okay?
What if the arrows are different? Doesn't that only work if the arrows are pointing that way?
Oh, the less than?
Yeah.
That would be the only way I'd give it to you.
Oh.
And it just means that whatever these two are, it's in between those two.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Let's try again. Little different the way I'm giving it to you this time. So write it down, and then I will help you.
You're so.
Okay. Do you have it written down? Fletcher, do you have it written down? Okay. Are we ready yet?
What do we have to say? Where do we say 5?
5. Guarantee this yet. I just didn't really thought
I already have that.
All right, guys. This is not the exact same information as you got last time. It's not. Okay, I'm telling you cosine of theta is -12/13. The 13 is the hypotenuse, right?
Yeah.
The 12 would be the adjacent side. So is that the x piece or the y piece?
So this thing would be the X.
X. So 13's got to be positive, right? So if this is negative, am I going to the right or to the left? To the left. So I know I am either in this quadrant or this quadrant, but I don't know which one yet. Okay? Out of those two, I need to figure out where is tangent positive. Okay. Tangent deals with both opposite and adjacent, right? Write that down.
So both needs to be negative.
So, yeah, since I've got it narrowed down to only these two, do you think a negative adjacent and a positive opposite is going to give me a positive tangent?
No, that won't be that.
Negative and negative would, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know I'm drawing my triangle in the third quadrant.
How did you narrow it down to just those two?
So it says cosine is negative, right? Cosine deals with the adjacent. And I know the adjacent piece is always the x part.
Oh.
So that means I'm going left.
Oh no, they both have to be negative because the adjacent and the other one have greater than 0.
So.
Well, together they make
So
something.
both 1, 4, -1.
This is a common one. Do you know it?
15. 17.
7.
Oh wait, well, that's, oh wait,
Five.
oh wait, wait, wait.
5, yes.
Just went
Oh,
on.
Now,
I thought-
positive 5 or negative 5?
Oh,
Negative.
Negative.
13's a hypotenuse.
13 is the hypotenuse, yes.
That's why I was like, 144 plus 1. Nah.
So if you get a number bigger than 13, that's not okay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, your legs have to be smaller than the hypotenuse. Again, once it's drawn, this part is just kind of not that big of a deal, right?
Is there like a shortcut for this one? Maybe just,
What do you mean?
I don't know, would it go faster?
How did you try and find?
Like, I can't write any faster than I'm writing, so.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, there's not a lot of work with this, like, it's just you have to write it.
Alright, good job.
After you find all of them, there's too much.
Did you find the thought?
Yes. Hopefully you'll start to recognize, you know 3, 4, 5, 5, 12, 13, that's another very common set of numbers I'll give you for right triangles. And guys, once you write it, just double check. Look at my tangent. I have positive 5 12ths, right? That matches with tangent being positive, right? Just use that to kind of go, okay, my answer is looking good.
You have 5 minutes now.
Yeah, then class is over. All right, questions on that one? I just want to do part A of this next one. That's
What was
it.
that other one that you said? 5?
No more.
Yeah. All right, only write down A for right now, okay? I'll cover up the others so you're not distracted.
But it's only quadrants, you can just, you got a 1 in 4 chance, right?
You do have a 1 in 4 chance of getting it right.
So you can just guess.
And hopefully you can at least narrow it down to 50-50 with just a little bit of
At
work.
that point, you could have more.
Or think a teeny bit more and you'll get it right.
Maybe I'll just bring
Let's
a
go ahead
point.
and take this one.
This is cotangent.
Oh, tangent.
Yeah. All right, because we're getting short on time, let's go through it. Sine. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, right? Is the opposite part of all of these triangles the x or the y?
The opposite is going to give you y value.
Yeah, it's the up or the down, right? So we're thinking about the y values. It says y is greater than 0. Is that up or down?
So it's got to be either 1 or 2.
Okay, so it's either here or it's here, right?
So it'd be the X.
I haven't narrowed it down to those two.
I'm saying it's 2, guys.
Okay. Out of those two, and you can think about it, x is positive, y is positive. X is negative, y is positive, right? Cotangent. That deals with both the x and the y, right? The adjacent and the opposite. So look at it. Which of these, dealing with both of them, is going to give me a negative? 2. So quadrant 2 is the answer. Okay, that's it. So those are just figure out the quadrants. You have a little bit of homework. I'm positive.
Darn it, it's delayed.